Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Artcasters number 379, and it is just the three of us today. We don't have a guest. I got back from vacation, and I was trying to book a guest, but that didn't quite work out. But there's some circumstances here that I think it's best just today, just to have all three of us, and we're just gonna kind of just kind of hang out and let you guys be privy to this, because as you may have read from the title, there's been some life changes and stuff, particularly with one of us, and we're just going to kind of workshop some stuff and talk about that. But before we do that, we will we'll do what we always do and kind of go around the room and introduce ourselves and talk about what we've got going on. So I am Scott Circlin. You can find my stuff on my website, circworks.com. I've got a number of digital products out there that you can purchase that have to do with making comics and everything. I also have very, very, very limited quantities, and I may put more up, but at least for right now, of my wax packs. Do I have? Let me see if I have it. I don't know if I can reach. Yeah. So these Gross Food wax packs, which I just put out a video on YouTube showing how I make these wax packs, but these are available on my site right now. Like I said, very limited quantity, but I'm hoping to make some more. Corey's got one there. And by the way, if you haven't seen that video, please do check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. I think it's the best video I've ever done to date.
I love it.
So definitely check it out. So I'm really, really happy with the way that turned out. So that's me.
I just want to second that. I've been sitting on this pack, figuratively, for a couple months, waiting to tell people about it because it's pretty rad. And so if you want, I will say this is like handcrafted. So
yeah,
Scott made each one of these one at a time. It is a very rare handcrafted item that is legit like the ones that they made back in the 80s and 90s. It's pretty cool. So
I mean, it looks like a sincere, like, wacky pack. It's really cool. And you guys should see the video too, because it's like, I mean, there's like paraffin wax, like hand applied, like it's like everything you guys should expect from Scott. It's like one step beyond, and awesome. So
it's got like little ads.
Yeah, like I said, I'm happy. I'm really happy with it. Yeah. And in the next video, on I think Tuesday, I'll have a live stream where I'm going to be just packaging some of those up, those and some other ones that I have, some different ones, and just kind of showing you a little slower pace, showing exactly how each step is, because the video is a little more fast paced.
I love it.
And you guys can jump in the chat if you guys have questions or whatever. But I think that'll be next Tuesday, so be on the lookout for that. Yeah.
I love it. And I mean, those interviews and live streams that Scott's been doing are really cool, and they're really like interactive too. Like Scott, you've been like really interacting with chat and stuff on those, so like make sure you guys are subscribed to Scott Circland and check those out.
Yeah, they're definitely getting more views than I was getting before, and a lot more engagement in the chat. I just want to, hopefully it keeps picking up, and it just got to get that YouTube to kind of notice what I'm doing. So I think it's just a matter of time. I think they just need more to gauge, because I've only got the two videos up. So I think once they kind of catch on, their algorithm catches on, oh, I see what this is, and then start pushing it to the people that would really, care to see this. Plus the stuff I'm doing right now, I know it will do good because it's evergreen, and it will do a good in search long term, because like the only other wax pack video, how to make wax packs, is another one that I did. Yeah. And that one's got a decent number of views on it. And this one is like way better. Same thing with my sticker video. These
are going to explode. I really firmly believe in this, like even more than the comics one. So, yeah.
Okay. Gary said he's ordering some now. Yeah. Cause they're getting low. So, but like I said, I do want to make some more. Like when I do the live stream, I'll probably be making some more of them. So anyway, but they are involved. So that's the reason why I said I'm doing limited quantities, because it's kind of fun just to get them out there. But I don't know how profitable it is, just because there is some
I'm having connection issues. I might have to log back on.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, wait.
Well, we'll head over to. Are you good?
Oh, you're frozen. I was just about to buy the wax stickers. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe maybe me trying to buy the wax pack. I'll buy it after. Do not buy them out, but go buy them, guys. But make sure you leave one at least. Okay. I won't try to buy those anymore.
All right, so let's go. We'll go kind of counterclockwise, and we'll go to Corey. And Corey, you can tell us what you got going on.
I have just finished up 2 big client projects, so I haven't done anything in any fun stuff for like a week or 2. So I'm now back into doing the fun stuff, and I should be like the semester's wrapping up, so my newsletter is going to get going again. It's been, I don't know, 2-3 weeks since I sent something out. So anyway, now would be a good time to jump on to coreykerr.com/email and check that out. And I've got a few things going. You can see some of the stuff that I've been doing with the Esoteric Crumble Flux series at coreykerr.com/store. And there'll probably be some animations and some of that stuff kind of coming in the next month or 2, because I have a little bit of time off. So
cool. All right. So Josh,
are you guys seeing the connections kind of blip out, or no?
You're stuttering a little bit, Josh. For me.
Okay. Maybe I should log out.
Do you want to
back in?
Log out, log back in? You want to do that? Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh will be back. So let's see. The funny thing is, when I went over to Corey, like I said, I just kind of got back from a vacation, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, Artcasters coming up, and I had reached out to some guests and things, and it's funny because different people, use different ways of contacting them. So I sent this one person let's see, I think Josh is back in. Anyway, I sent out some feelers to get guests and stuff, and it didn't I didn't get anything back. And then we were going to do just because a couple episodes ago we did sort of episode that was focused on me and kind of what I was doing. So then, and we'll still do these in the future, but we were going to do one that was a little more focused on Corey and just kind of, like he was a guest, and then we'll do one with Josh and stuff. So that was the plan, but I was just trying to fill time just now. So I'm going to go, I'm going to go over to Josh. Is everything okay, Josh?
Yeah. Jim said your connection and audio are fine on our end, so that's good to hear. So maybe let me know, Jim. Did you see some of the blipping out that was happening on the screen, or no? Just let us know if there's like connection issues, because my internet sucks. So yeah, we were gonna do a thing on Corey, and I have kind of resigned from my art director position. And so now I'm in kind of a position with no floor, which is a familiar position. Like I've talked about this. I spent like 15 years as a freelance illustrator and graphic designer, running my own thing and kind of making that work. And so it's kind of like, even getting into that initially, there was this moment of just the floor dropping out, and you kind of have to just like swim and like hunt, and I'm kind of ready for it, but still kind of processing, because it was like literally today that this change happened. And so
you sort of gave new meaning to the term Independence Day.
yeah, that's true. It's like it's Independence Day, so that's kind of nice. But the nice thing about it is like there's I think there's going to be a lot of potential of where I can go. And so it's like right now I'm just trying to kind of like roadmap and like figure out like within, all that extra stuff, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
Well, and I think I won't speak for Corey, but I could definitely speak for myself, and I've been sort of in that position many times, and my career has had so many changes from like working like part-time while freelancing, or working full-time while freelancing, or working only freelance, or trying to move into a position where I'm not doing any freelance, but I'm still an independent artist. So I've had a little bit of everything. So, and had
and I feel like you've been through this
some not
recently.
so successes. So.
Yeah.
So you see, so yeah, it's not always the easiest thing, but I mean, it's sometimes change is good, and there's definitely when what's the old saying, when one door closes, another one opens up, and I think more than just one open up. I mean, there's just a lot of possibilities. So I thought it might be cool just to explore some of those possibilities and kind of and kind of also support Josh, so.
Yeah. I will say right now, like I say this occasionally, but super chats actually will mean a lot right now. But
this is Josh's channel, so if you drop it, it will at least what YouTube doesn't take out. They take out their 30% or whatever. But
yeah. But Thomas said, "See what all those spicy videos did to you, Josh?" Because I did a couple spicy streams recently. These two incidents were not connected, just to let you guys know. Yeah,
you got a taste of the freedom. You should give out Vimeo or something instead of super chats. I've seen like Chris Doe do that because they don't take a cut of it. Anyway, I don't know. I just read a crazy book about all of this stuff. I'm not going to make this a conspiracy theory.
I want the conspiracy theory, Corey. I need it. I need cheering up today.
A really interesting book called Information Doesn't Want to Be Free by Cory Doctorow. And it's just a history of all the grift that the big companies have done with creators over the years. It made me not want to keep any money in anything but a bank.
Is that a book on? Do they have an on tape version of that, or I think?
Yeah. No, I listened to the audio. I listened to the audio of it. You can't listen to it. He's really anti DRM, so you can't listen to it on Audible.
Okay.
So you have to get it somewhere else. But I'll send you a link. It's pretty good. I've listened to 2 or 3 of his books recently, and yeah, they're worth it. But anyway, just as an aside, if you get paid, like what I've gotten paid several times on, I'm saying Vimeo, not Vimeo, Venmo or PayPal or whatever. Do not keep your money in there. Like, get it out as fast as you possibly can, because apparently it's pretty common for them to freeze your account and just hold on to your money. Because one time I had a big animation gig, and I got paid like 10 grand plus. Mm-hmm. And they held on to my money for 60 days.
Oh, geez.
And I was like, I understand needing to check that it's legit, but 2 months is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah. And YouTube hangs on to that YouTube payment for quite a while, as Scott knows. Scott probably receives a lot more than either of us, but yeah.
Sorry. So we got distracted by super chats. You're going to kind of roll past that, Josh. So
Frank was saying I transfer everything to my bank ASAP.
Yep, very smart.
Nice,
very smart. Sometimes I forget that I did client work and I just have stuff sitting in there for like a long time, and then I'm like, crap, I need some money. Like something happens, and then I start looking in all these places where I squirrel money away. I think like I'm like a Dust Bowl era, like I like squirrel money. I hide money in like weird places all over the place online. So, yeah.
Interesting. Hiding money in weird places. That's fascinating. I wouldn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the conspiracy there. Awesome.
Anyway.
Yeah, when we do Corey's episode, we'll get into some more conspiracy theories, I'm sure.
I want to get deep into conspiracy. I think it's fun.
Is it conspiracy if it's
I don't think it's not conspiracy.
Well documented fact?
No, I'm not saying no. That stuff. Yeah, I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy, and I definitely think you're getting screwed over by these big companies. So.
Yeah, I think saying that the mega corporations screwing creatives over, that's not much of a conspiracy.
No, no.
Anyway. I can understand that.
There's more evidence.
Gary said, just one word for you, Josh, OnlyFans. I would destroy OnlyFans, like not in a good way. Like that would be the end of OnlyFans. That would be when
just take pictures of your feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You're done.
That's true.
Big,
I got to get in on that
hairy
business.
big toe at all. Just throw it on there.
I love it. Yeah, that's what people desire. Yeah. So anyhow, like I'm in an interesting position trying to kind of figure out like where to go. It'll be interesting to kind of navigate, you know.
And we were talking a few different. I mean, you're exploring a few different options already. As far as, I mean, you've got a. We were talking about how you have a pretty prestigious you know, educational background as far as, I mean, your degrees and everything like that.
Degree, not
yeah,
degrees. Yeah.
Degree. Well,
Well,
you had,
got
I guess,
a bachelor's.
I think
too.
you have to get one degree.
Oh, I
to get
guess
another
there.
degree to get
Yeah, I
another
guess I have a
degree.
BFA too. Sorry, I forget about that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so let's roll through that, because I think before I got into higher education, I would have been totally clueless about any of that, and so just like 10-second, what is a BFA, and then another 10-second, what is an MFA, and what's the difference between an MFA and just a master's?
Okay, so like a BFA is like a bachelor in fine arts. A bachelor of arts is kind of like a degree where you'd like specialize, say, in art or something like that. A bachelor of fine arts is more specialized and kind of like requires a lot more time and a lot more courses. And generally, it's like so a bachelor of arts you could kind of get by taking maybe like 2 specialized classes, and then you could be like a bachelor of arts in whatever. Whereas a BFA, like in illustration, means that you've had like pretty much all the baseline of a bachelor's, but then you've gone on for like it's usually about a year longer, and gone through a whole program, and like there's like a BFA show and all of that stuff like involved in it. And it's like a lot more competitive to get in because you actually have to reapply. So
Right.
once you're kind of like in school, you have to reapply to get in the BFA program. A lot of people don't, because it's usually like a portfolio submission process and stuff like that.
So it's like competitive entry, it's juried, and
Yeah.
there's usually like a big project or series of project components to like the capstone. And then an MFA.
An MFA is a whole beast. Like, so an MFA is like a master's, but along with the master's, you're again like adding another year or so to your education and like specializing in a studio art in general.
And an MFA is considered a terminal degree, and a terminal degree means that that's the most that you can get in that discipline. And so
Yeah.
I have a master's degree.
Yeah.
I don't have an MFA. You have an MFA, which is kind of the equivalent of a PhD in the arts.
Yeah, and what's great is I'm unemployed with an MFA at this point today, and you're employed with a master's, and Scott is employed with no degree, I believe, and like that's actually
no. just certificates. Is all
yeah. But like that's badass. Like that's kind of like I don't know. I think that might be helpful for people watching, where it's like sometimes it doesn't really matter what your degree is.
Well, but I can't. I can't teach
at
the college level.
You're taking a snapshot of Thursday.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, no, we'll see. I'm going to get off and running looking for work. I like the nice thing about an MFA is in order to kind of teach at most colleges, especially art schools and stuff like that, like one of the prerequisites is an MFA. And I'm kind of like high-fiving myself in the past for having gotten that done because that is a fallback in a weird way, but like a good fallback, because something I'm going to be considering, and I'm going through a similar journey to like what Scott went through about a year ago or something, you know, where I feel like, you know, it's kind of, I like Jim's education right there. He's like, what about an effing A right there? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I tried to put it up and then I'm going to stop interacting with chat. I'm so used to like popping those things up. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see, because I will probably attempt to like adjunct some classes, even though it pays terrible, and then do freelance. Like, I think that's going to be my objective I might look for other like full-time stuff if possible, but there's a part of me that like kind of hates corporate work like a lot.
Yeah.
And my soul, like, this is no knock on like my previous employer or anything like that, but like I feel like my soul has died a little bit for like 4 or 5 years of like the 9 that I worked there. And so it's like every year I feel like I'd lose like a little chunk of my soul. It kind of reminds me of, do you guys remember that movie like Joe versus the Volcano from back in the day?
I can feel the lights sucking my energy out of my eye sockets.
Yeah. I feel like I'm Joe, and I like at least that's how I kind of feel. So right now, weirdly enough, there's like a part of me that's like really refreshed, like just having it gone. It's like a burden has lifted. So there's a part of me that like I think, yeah, it'll be interesting. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that goes. It's not necessarily the best time to be like applying for adjunct positions, but I already have like a potential lead on one class at least in like spring. And then I'm going to be like touching base with all of my freelance clients and just kind of searching out. And I will say on stream, this is just stuff I'm thinking about. But I was thinking about live streaming while doing like t-shirt designs or prints, and then still carving out the same amount of time every day for a comic as well. So that like my main job will be like, obviously at first, like I got to update resume, update my website, like all of the stuff that you never get to do when you're like in-house somewhere for a long time. And then I think from there, it's going to be like a multi-pronged approach to kind of finding something. But I think I'm going to be a little pickier with where I look, because I think the culture of the place is more important than I think I gave it credit to before. Yeah.
Well, and one thing that's nice about teaching is I think it does open up a lot of opportunity for freelance work.
Yeah.
Because I mean, everywhere, everybody that you talk to and everybody that you interact with, everybody that knows what you do, is a potential, person that you could kick work to, or they could kick work to you. And so I found like working in different jobs, because I worked for about 12 plus years before I started teaching, and 12 to 50 people really well at a job, but like what's interesting is in a teaching situation, you meet like 75 new people every 3 months.
Yeah.
And they're intimately introduced to your expertise, and then they go out into the workforce. And so like I've had graduates like reach out to me and say, hey, by the way, this is happening, or we're starting a thing, can you do something for us? Or
and those connections last forever. Like even the potential class I might adjunct is like a buddy of mine that like we went to grad school together, and he teaches. And it's like, when I've had freelance that I couldn't take, I'd like send it his way, so it's like, It is kind of weird. We were talking about this, I think like 3 months ago or whatever, how weird it is to kind of get to the point in our careers where we have to turn down work.
Yeah.
And so now I'm back, it's like the feast and famine cycle, where I'm back at it. So honestly, I feel like 9 years is a pretty good run for like an art director.
Well, I heard one time that like a typical art director runs like 18 months at a place. I can't remember where I heard that stat, but when I was an art director, I remember thinking, 6 years is pretty good.
Yeah. No, 6 years. I looked it up a long time ago, and what I found was like, I think the average for that position is like 3 at like anywhere.
Yeah. That makes
sense. If you outlast like 3, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's a weird.
I was gonna say my friend Arnold, who we've had on the show, he works
Gold Key,
at
right?
Gold Key, yeah. He was an art director out here in Arizona. Now he owns a comic shop and runs Gold Key with some other guys. But
good for him.
he was always moving from one agency to another. I mean, he's just like, because I think his email was like Arnold. Well, maybe I shouldn't mention that. Something like
Yeah,
it was AZ Art
mention his
Director or
email,
something.
mention his address and social security number.
I could mention my email on here. No one, my email is all over my website. No one contacts me, so I'm probably not.
True.
I probably don't have to worry too much about it. But it was like AZ Art Director, and that's what he did. He got it was like just all over Arizona, just all these different places. But and I've never had a job last more than 3 years, and it seemed like for me that was the number. It was always 3 years, and
the magic 3. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. This is a weird thing about just my temperament in general. Like, and I don't know if it's much temperament as it's like I'm not good at being a corporate shill. I'm not, and like I can do it for so long, and then I'm just not really all that great at it. And so I think it's kind of like cartooning where it's like, I think there's this thing that creatives have where you like, you don't pick cartooning. You're just going to do comics. Like most people I know who do comics, they don't do it. Like some of them don't even like it. They're just doing it because that's what you do when you're a cartoon. Like you love comics. You just make comics. I feel like it's kind of the same thing with the, with the like corporate stuff where it's like I feel like there's some of us who just aren't necessarily maybe built for that. So like there's a part of me that thinks that maybe it's better off like doing freelance, but freelance is hard, and I know this because I've lived it for a long time, and I know the games probably changed quite a bit, but I also know like I can't imagine the secret trick to it, which is just like hunting like a madman. I don't think that's gone away. So that's like, yeah. I don't know why my connection keeps kind of blipping out.
Paul had a good point real quick. When are you going to do your, that was the wrong one. I meant to hit this one. When are you going to do your vloggins if you don't have that hour and a half commute every day?
Yeah, that's a fair point. So actually on that, like I do plan on streaming like much longer streams, and they're going to be all over the place, but they should hopefully be really interesting because I think that I'm going to do a lot of like illustrations and like posters and stuff on my stream just to try to make stuff that, is pretty cool and entertaining and interesting and make prints and stuff like that of those things. So that's a hustle that I want to start doing immediately. And then again, like I got to kind of navigate and figure out the other stuff. Probably send out a lot of leads, that kind of thing. There's a couple clients that I've literally turned down this year because of my book and my job. And so I'm going to reach out to those clients and see if they're still hungry for that kind of stuff. So it's back to the hustle, but that actually means like I like to kind of open that up more because I really enjoy live streaming. I like the community and I like the idea of kind of hanging out with other artists. So like to me, that might actually make freelance a little more fun because one of the worst parts about freelance was just the isolation of it,
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that like the world has changed to the point where you don't have to be isolated, even if you're geographically isolated like me.
Yeah,
I still get to hang out with you guys, and I can jump on live streams, and I can talk to whoever. I have a question. There's been something that I'm toying with, and I'm curious on what the two of you think because you both have very relevant but different experiences with that. Oh, Kevin, you should jump on, dude. So.
Yeah, Kevin, you're more than welcome to jump on. Do you want me to invite you, buddy?
We haven't seen Kevin in a while, man.
Yeah, shoot him a link.
Anytime you want to be a guest, man, open invitation.
Yeah, he's been encouraging on the phone recently. So,
cool.
Yeah.
But I haven't been moving as many T-shirts as I wanted to, right? And I think there's a number of reasons for that. They're pretty niche. There's kind of a, like the style of them. Plus the topic of them, I think, is the people who are into that topic are probably not into the style, and vice versa. But I've been thinking like I haven't been pushing it in a lot of the areas that I could be, and so recently, like I'm gonna go get a PO box, I'm gonna take this kind of seriously, and I'm gonna see if like putting things on like the Google like product view things and like register my store with Google and some of these other markets. Maybe do something on Etsy and some of those things because it's all print on demand, and so it's not like I have any inventory necessarily of those types of things. But I'm kind of curious what you guys think of that because I've been thinking like like people are doing image searches or whatever, but like above the image search and above the text search, you have you've just got a ton of products. And so if people are looking to buy, I just think that might be a route. So I'm kind of curious because I know you've got a pretty good network at Threadless. And if anybody doesn't know, like Threadless was like the king of shirts, like in the early 2000s. And Josh was like significant on there. Like still some of the stuff that Josh made, 15 years ago is getting picked up and put in Hot Topic and like other things like that. And so like there's that, but I'm kind of curious, like, would that be a route that you'd be interested in doing, is doing some sort of, get your own screen print going or doing some sort of print on demand and then listing it on stuff like Etsy or your own like Squarespace, but then listing it on
I mean, there's
Google.
there's a whole load of things. I mean, like even Kickstarter and stuff like might actually be a more kind of probable route for like projects or something like that. Because there's a lot of things that I just have never had the time to do that I would love to kind of make the time to do. Yeah. Even some of the products that I used to make at my old work, like it might be fun to kind of make my own kind of versions of those products because I've learned a lot about like the manufacturing and stuff like that of said products.
Yeah.
And so I think that could be a route. I think that could be really trendy and interesting. There's like, I guess it's kind of a weird and intimidating, but also thrilling viewpoint. And Scott, you were there like not that long ago, and you're kind of an inspiration in that sense because like a lot of people, when they're in that position, it's like, you can like lose faith or like lose hope or whatever. There's a couple things that, oh, by the way, Kevin, just so you know, I sent the link to your email because I don't think you're on Facebook anymore. So I sent you the link to the email, my dude. But anyhow, so if you want to hop on, so like it'll be interesting to kind of see how that bears out and like what kind of comes from it. But it's kind of a weird kind of blue sky moment where I think I really like, in the next few days or whatever, need to like sit down, really map out a plan, write down our budget, like, and be like, okay, this is what we have to hit every month or whatever. And then just kind of make it happen, which is like that's the other magic trick of freelance that I've found is like, you just kind of have to have the will to make it happen. And weirdly, it kind of does. It's like a weird thing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
that makes
like,
total sense. Well,
it's almost like the secret, but it's not. Like it's just sheer willpower got me, like 15 years of work, and that was like dry years and really positive years, where like there were some years where I just, I'd map out clients for like the next 3 months. And then there were some years where it's like you're sending cold emails every morning,
The thing about the secret that sucks is like part of it is true. And that always drives me nuts.
That's so well said.
You know what I mean? It's like, that always drives me nuts about stuff like that because, the idea of just like, oh, I'm just going to will it into existence or whatever. That's a bunch of crap. Yeah. Because they're missing the part where you will it into existence and then you work to make it happen. Yeah. Like those two things are very important because if you don't believe that it's going to happen, then you will sabotage yourself with your actions. Yep. But if you believe it's going to happen and then do the work to make it happen, it most of the time does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because that's a lot of what we talk about in transformational leadership and everything. It's be, do, have. You get it's how you're being, and then it's there's Kevin. Hey, Kevin.
It's my brother from another mother. How's it going,
hey,
Kevin
guys?
Cross?
How are you?
Good. Good to see you, man.
You too.
Kevin, your mustache is looking rad, my dude.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I
think it's more than just a mustache there. Looks like
yeah. It's the stuff's getting really big, mostly because of laziness. But,
that's the trick.
Yeah, I didn't expect to come online in public today. So, yeah, truth be told, I did check my email before you shouted that out, and then I was like, oh man, I gotta brush this. So, yeah. So.
Well, I appreciate you coming in for support. I need the.
I would have preferred you showed up all mountain man with like bits of bone and stuff in there.
Yeah, the thing is, these days I don't do freelance. I haven't done it for a while. And I have a brick and mortar spot, and it's an art job. It's like a blue collar art job. So I am very, very sweaty from earlier today, and so the funny thing is, I don't know if you remember, Josh. I told you back when I used to play in all the bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When we go on these long tours, everybody had something to hold them. Not hold them. That's the wrong term, but make them feel human. Because we live like animals.
Oh, I think this is the sock story, right?
Yeah. So we would have a writer, and one of the things that we had was a packet of socks, because it sounds silly, but if you're on the road for months and months at a time, just what it's like when you put your feet in a fresh pair of socks.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're human. Yeah. One of the guys that I was in a band with, he always had to bring his own cutlery. It had to be metal, because we were eating, with plastic forks and spoons and stuff, and somehow that made him feel human. For me, it was before I got on stage. Not that people were gonna be making out with me or smell my breath or anything, but I brushed my teeth before I went on stage all the time. Yeah, just weird shit,
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm like, I smell like garbage. I live in a town, because the warehouse today was so hot. It's it's in the 90s here in Portland, and this is not a place where there's a lot of air conditioning.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I went and combed my beard.
Nice. I think that's badass. Well, thank you for combing your beard.
So anyway.
It is funny, like people don't realize that we have to comb these things. It's that and also I really need a haircut. I think they'll do that tomorrow, because right now I'm starting to look like a 1970s like disco guy.
Dude, you need a mohawk.
Yeah. That's true. Actually,
you can do whatever you want now, Josh.
That's true. Yeah. I could just bleach my hair and freaking go to town.
So into the 70s disco stuff, but the way you look right now, what I want to do, Josh, I still have a key to your house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, while we're talking, I'll find it. It's still my key ring. I mostly keep it because I know I'm not going to show up at Josh's house. It's just, because I'm sentimental. This is a key to Josh's house. It's on my key ring. Josh was instrumental in.
Can you hold that up, and I'm going to scan it and see if I can make a.
Yeah.
Hold that real close for the viewers, especially the Republicans I pissed off a couple streams ago.
I'm gonna Scott, with your wacky packs wax thing, I'm gonna make you a wax mold of this. So
nice. I like it.
I've got and
we'll have a
he has the paraffin.
Yeah, we'll have a surprise party for Josh. It'll be fine. We're not gonna do anything bad. Where was I going?
You're sentimental.
Sentimental key.
So, Josh gave me a key to his house. Some people who have followed me on YouTube may have known I went through a terrible divorce, and and it almost destroyed me. And Josh and his wife Mai were fantastic. And when I left Southern California, they were like, just keep the key in case you need it sometime. So it's been on my keyring since. That was seven-ish years ago. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. So I'm worried about you, Josh.
Yeah.
Because I worked with Josh at the same place.
Yeah.
That and Josh was fantastic, and I would say not only not trying to just wax his car, but I mean, he was my friend beforehand, so there's going to be some bias there, but if I think bias aside, a fantastic art director, so anyway, I'm just worried about you, bud.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah,
appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, but oh sorry, back to your look with the disco. I don't want to what I want to do is I want to get like a Lincoln Continental for maybe 1972, maybe a Chrysler New Yorker from 1972.
Nice, yeah.
And I want to drive to your house with my key, come in the door, kidnap you in that car, and then we're going to go to Los Angeles and solve crimes.
Nice. I could see us solving crimes. Yeah, I could.
Yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
this
I'd have to take up
I'm cussing a lot.
It's okay that we do cuss. We're on my channel, dude. You can cuss all you want.
All right.
It's funny. I forget. I was talking to you. Remember Rick, Kevin? Like we had him on like BIPT back in the day. Rick Reese, really cool guy.
Oh yeah.
Anyhow, I called him up after all this, and like I was saying something like fucking blah blah blah, and then I'm like, oh wait, I caught myself. I've been corporate programmed to like be like, oh, I'm sorry, I used a danger word, and I'm like, oh, I can actually freely speak now, which is kind of nice. So yeah. Anyhow. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah. So I kind of stepped into the Artcasters tonight, missing a little bit of the beginning and stuff. So apologies if I'm asking questions. I don't know how much you've covered on what you're going to do next. I know you're working on that graphic novel and thinking about freelance again. Right. And I did listen to a little bit of that about the teaching. So anyway, what's going on? How can we help? Like what's like you've been such a great friend. I want to know how can we help? Like what's going on?
I don't think I think it's going to be one of those things of like me figuring it out, but just staying persistent with it, because like weirdly enough, like we were hanging out with Scott when he went through this, and it's like one of the things that was really inspiring about Scott kind of going through a similar thing was like just the positive kind of attitude that he retained throughout it, and just the fact that like you kind of just have to decide like whatever's going to work and kind of pick some paths and see where it goes. There's a part of me that feels really liberated. Obviously there's the part that's like, oh, mortgage, health insurance, kid, that's frightening. But there's also a part of me that's like, oh, hello, friend, I've been here. It's not anything new. Like, I mean, it is new in the sense of, now I got a kid in the scenario, but it's like, it's not like a battle I haven't fought before, And like, even if the grounds have changed a bit, it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of excited about it. I'm excited to see what happens. I have some crazy ideas that I want to see happen.
Chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but like I don't know. I mean, like, I think it would be fun to do some of the products that maybe I was doing before, but like maybe kickstart some of them. And I want to start doing more kind of, I mean, again, like it'll depend what all comes up and stuff, but I think it would be fun to do more actual art projects and stuff, like, and play with Kickstarter, not for comics, right? But like for for like legit fun stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I think it might be possible to kind of drum up some stuff there. And then I do enjoy live streaming, even though I have like no followers. So I think it would be fun to like live stream through that process. So like, because I haven't really been doing a lot of like design stuff on streams, and I still think it'll be, I don't know, like the first run I want to do is like posters that are like greetings from, and they show all the shittiness of different cities. So
that's funny.
That's where I want to start from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you decide, you know, because when I was in your position and everything, I just started diving into all kinds of ways to earn passive income and stuff with your art, and I was looking into like, you know, and Corey's kind of doing that now too with the t-shirts and everything, but there's ways to set it up through, you know, where there's a little more profit margin than say like I don't know how threadless is now, unless I have no idea what's changed there, but like,
yeah, the print on demand, it's not going to be like
Redbubble. It's like,
yeah.
Don't bother with that really.
The print on demand, unless you do white label, is almost the same everywhere. You make almost nothing.
Yeah, very small margins.
Like Spreadshirt, Redbubble, Society 6, TeePublic, Designed by Humans.
Yeah.
You know, like all of that stuff. You're making like, if I saw a shirt on there, and I only have like old designs. If I sell like a $20 to $25 shirt, I get like $2. It's like it like pisses me off when they give me money.
Yeah, and you have to sell for close to $30 to make that 2 bones. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's freaking ridiculous, and you feel like you're.
But the white label's a little better, and I mean, I've got an idea for a t-shirt company that I'm going to do too when I get around to it. But yeah, I've kind of looked in, and like Corey's doing that. So if you have wanting advice on that, I'm wondering like with some of your more popular designs, is there like a licensing deal where you can't do it yourself, or?
No, I can run those myself.
Okay, and maybe even put some of that on, like you said, with all your experience working for your former employer.
Yeah,
you know, you could put that stuff on other products. You know, maybe.
Yeah, no, that's a huge possibility. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Like Emmeline that we were talking to last week. Like she's making between $600 and $2,000 a month on Etsy.
Yeah,
and you can sell white label shirts on Etsy too. That's probably a better route to go than,
Sorry for being the Luddite in the room here. What is white label? Is
so
that just
white label? White label is just where the customer doesn't know that they're buying from a third party. So, Printful and Printify, when they ship shirts, it ships from Corey Kerr Art. Okay. Even though they're doing the printing and the fulfillment. So it's just a term that. So like there's open and closed print on demand, where like Threadless is like closed, where you go to coreykerr.threadless.com and you're not going to be shown anybody else's work. And like TeePublic is like open, where I could drive traffic to them, and then you could go buy, something from Kevin Cross or some other random person or something.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
Well, white label, they don't have a storefront.
Like some little adapt.
Oh, I think Kevin froze. Am I crazy?
We lost Kevin.
Did it cut out?
Oh, just
a second.
Now.
Yeah.
Am I here now?
Yeah.
Yep.
You did it with magic. You went, and it froze you.
Yeah. Well, it's the beard. I've become a wizard.
It's true. The wizard beard.
So you're saying you just bought something?
Yeah. So I think the idea is I just bought these little adapters for headphones for my iPhone and iPad, and they ended up coming not from Apple, from somebody else. So So it's that kind of principle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
And
you guys, I have to disappear for like 2 seconds, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
But you guys continue.
But instead of $2, you get like 6 to 8. So it's still not great, but it's better than most print on demand.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
That's interesting. There was a time, I think, when Josh and I were doing the Big Illustration Party Time podcast, we were early adopters of a lot of Instagram and whatever the new thing was, and around the time right before all the lockdowns, the pandemic, I got so burnt out, and I just stopped paying attention to everything. Yeah. And then through the pandemic, I've got this brick and mortar now, and so I just stopped. Like,
it's probably better for your mental health, actually.
It is, but it's still an art job. So I've just recently come to the thought that I really do need to start kind of re-upping on doing, videos and to feed into projects that I want to do. Because still, I'm still basically working for customers.
Right.
It's not like I'm doing my own stuff all the time. And probably maybe taking a freelance gig here and there. That's a new thought.
Yeah.
And
I haven't.
It's a little more relaxed, but it's not. It's not as financially progressive as I thought it might be.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of businesses they fail in the first 1 to 3 years statistically, and we're hitting 2 years now, and squeaking by, and and we don't have to advertise, so
that's good, man.
But I'm in my 50s now, and I would like to not struggle quite as much.
I'm telling you, and I'm sure there's other content like this out here, and I don't know if you care to mention what you're doing, but I think people would be really interested in watching how you guys do that.
Yeah.
We've recorded it. So during the pandemic, my business partner and I, who is also a middle-aged punk rocker as well, and an old skateboarder who never stopped like me, we did a YouTube channel where there's only a handful of videos. When we both I lost all my freelance gigs, and
was that like, what was that called, like insane kickflip, or
it's called accidental kickflip.
Accidental kickflip, yeah. That's a skateboarding hamburger, you guys. I can't believe that video did not get more views. You need to watch that video.
Seriously, yeah,
it's legendary.
Definitely go and check out Kevin's videos on his regular channel, the last few videos he did, because I was looking at those, trying to figure out, what I wanted as far as how awesomely they're edited and everything, and that's what I'm trying to reach that bar with my own stuff.
You've said that to me before, and I appreciate that so much. And the only advice I can give you is that, and I'm gonna do like I was saying, re-upping on YouTube and things like that. It is. For me, YouTube came to a point where I was doing 100 Days to Make Comics. I realized now I didn't know what to do after.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to stop making videos, but I also have always enjoyed being part of media, I'll say. As a kid, I used to have these old reel-to-reel tape decks from my dad in the 60s, where you could change speeds, and I'd interview myself and do skits and, things like that. And so, being able to do YouTube and stuff like that it's kind of an extension of that, and TV has sucked for so fucking long. That's why no one watches it anymore. And we can make good quality TV now. Anyway, so I'm getting ahead of myself. I was doing 100 days, then I did 200 days, then I did 300 days, and then I did 400 days. And it was like, while I was doing that, my life was like going off the rails.
Yeah.
And I was trying to hold it together and making that the glue to hold me together. This is my focus. I failed at that.
Yeah.
and so those last few videos where I didn't even do illustration, I just made a Hot Wheel into a Mad Max car on one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was me just saying, fuck it. That's the only reason why those videos came out like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't feel like being beholden to what I I feel like I accidentally fell into something I didn't mean to get. It sounds egotistical to me for some reason to say this, but um, I didn't mean for that to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and then I felt beholden to this thing I didn't mean to go anywhere.
Like you had created. Honestly, Kevin, it's kind of comparable to where I like. Again, no insult to my employer or anything like that. It was a great place, but it's like I do kind of feel like there's a part of me that was like losing parts of my soul each year that I was there. Mm-hmm. And it's partially because I just don't think that corporate, like super corporate environments, I just don't think are for me. But you kind of like start something and then you can kind of end up, I'm trying to kind of relate to it because I'm just saying I can see where you kind of end up in a place where you're like, I don't know if this is what I want to pick. Like it's so, so at least I'm trying to draw a comparison there, but it's like, it's interesting, like where you can end up where you're like, wow, is this where I want to be? Like, is this what I want to be doing every day? Yeah.
I mean, this just occurred to me right now is, doing freelance illustration, to my detriment in this one project, but most of the time that I got hired to do bigger profile in quotes work was based on my own stuff when I did say,
yep,
and I'm sorry, fuck it.
Yeah.
I said, fuck it. And so that's what I did with the YouTube. I mean, at this point, people I think were coming for comic content and I'm giving them like, hey, I'm going to hit a Hot Wheels with a hammer and put toothpicks in it.
That was a badass one, dude. It looked very Mad Max and you were having fun, which like to me, the hamburger skateboard was like a good example of that too, where I'm just like, so it reminded me of hanging out with you in Portland. I was like, I could see Kevin and me making a hamburger skateboard,
Yeah. You just entertain yourself.
Yeah.
And you try to make something good out of it.
Yeah.
Because we do what we do and we expect a modicum of quality, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's irreverent and stupid.
Yep.
On the outset, but if it's fun and it's like I said, done with some kind of modicum of quality.
Yeah.
So I was those videos you're talking about, Scott, and this is also what makes me feel good is like my friends like you have said like, oh, this is the best that you've done or whatever, my subscriber count went like just total nosedive.
Thomas, go check out Kevin Cross on YouTube. You can check out his video. Sorry, go ahead.
But that makes sense because people were coming to me as the guy who worked 30 minutes every single day.
Yeah.
On a comic book that ultimately, at this point, we now know historically, any 20 people who watch my videos, failed miserably. But whatever.
Well, that's a tough place to be in because those videos, I know from doing something similar, the amount of time it must have taken to edit those. Yeah. And if they don't initially, and that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. Because even though I am getting more views than I typically did before, but I was just kind of hoping because they're designed to keep YouTube audiences engaged, like the quick cuts and things. So you're hoping, I'm not disappointed, but I was kind of in the back of my mind, I was kind of like hoping, oh, these are just gonna get way more engagement right off the bat, and I realized I gotta stick with it for a while, and see that.
Well,
here's one thing I want to say real quick. I have barely any views on my videos, but I insulted a bunch of Republicans. Sorry, Corey. Sorry, Scott. Like, I know you guys don't like getting into politics. No. I'm joking. I'm teasing. But because we've gotten it. But my point is, I actually think that might be a route that my channel might be going even more. Like, not in a negative way, but like I have no fucking reason. Like, I can use language. I have no reason to hold back now because I am not a representative of my workplace. And there has been this weight. Like, I don't know if I've talked about this, but it's like when you're salaried for a place, right? There's a weight on your shoulders because everywhere you go, you're like considered a representative of your workplace. And so I've had to like use a pretty severe filter, like even on my own YouTube content. I think it was like a week ago that I kind of let go of that filter a little bit. And Kevin was like texting me like, because it's like, I think he was like, oh shit, that's Josh, you know, because it's like, I don't get to do that shit very often. And I think I plan on doing a little bit more of that as well. But that mixed with like illustration and stuff like that. Sorry for cutting you off. But that just made me think of that. And also, I love, Kevin, that I was going off on an idiot in the chats and you were there to text and go, keep going, bro. Like, I don't know. It's a good bond that I think is there. I'm sorry for rambling. Yeah. And also, Corey and Scott, I didn't mean that as like a diss. I was joking. But yeah, anyhow.
I mean,
I thought you were calling a Republican there for a minute.
No.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I was like, yeah.
No. Scott, like Scott does not get political online, but Scott is definitely not right leaning, and Corey is always very like centrist and I think policy. But like, it's funny, we agree on a ton of things, but we don't fully.
I'm all
agree.
over the place, man.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah,
but Corey's anti-corporate, which is I think great, and this is why I'm like it you know, I kind of wonder what you guys think about this, but like this is part of why I think like the right path might be avoid corporate. That's all, because I think corporate was killing my soul, and Kevin, you witnessed, you know, corporate killing my soul. I think
I have a lot to say about this, but but Corey wants.
No, I was just gonna say I'm pro corporate. I'm anti like mega corporate, like where it becomes like a monopoly, and where you use terms like human capital. It's like when you stop thinking of people as people, you know, whatever. But I like.
Did you say human chattel?
It's that's similar. Yeah, human chattel. No, there is a finance
chattel.
term. There is a finance term that is human capital, and it's the way that you measure the worth of people on the balance sheet. And everybody that uses that, I want to punch them right in the neck. It's like, you might be the worst person I'm talking to today if you use that term authentically. But so I think I like it when it works. When we've got regulation that keeps like creators that are actually the ones adding value to the marketplace, like employed and compensated fairly. But it's when you get all of these middlemen distributors of the creations that get in the way and do all this garbage and dirty dealing and stuff. That's the kind of crap where, you could call me anti-corporate.
Kevin, I don't know if you've seen the joke, and I agree with Corey, by the way, but check out Corey's wall, Kevin.
Oh, jeez.
I'm doing this.
Do you see Corey Kerr's wall?
Sorry, I'm doing this on my phone, so I have to.
Let me just get out of the way.
Oh, he's probably got a little small image.
Yeah,
okay.
I have a tiny image.
And then I gotta just show you that.
I see comic pages, but I cannot really tell. Striper. Oh, dude. I
saw his wall, Kevin, and then I was like, holy fucking Striper.
Dude, to hell with the devil. I have a Striper story.
I want to hear it.
This has nothing to do with art except for Christian rock.
That's okay. You guys, like, part of this stream for anybody watching is also, this is a bit of a comfort stream selfishly for me. Mm-hmm. I've just taken I've just fallen off the ledge of a cliff a little bit, and this is my homie is helping me out. So, anyhow.
Yeah, this is the Warm Fuzzies casters.
Mm-hmm. So the Fuzzy Wuzzies casters.
So the political stuff, real quick before Striper.
And you gotta loop at some point. You gotta loop back around to what you're gonna say about the editing.
No. You guys are getting a snapshot of when Kevin lived here. This was like our conversations half the time was just we'd be like, "Oh, and Striper, man." Like anyhow, like just weird kind of tangents, but in a good way.
So real quick, so I've started filming for the reboot of the YouTube channel. I have an idea about that I want to ask you guys about after this.
Okay.
Real quick. Okay, and then that might be real. That might be content, but I don't know. I'm thinking about making my YouTube channel not art related anymore, just hot takes on Hollywood. What do you think? I don't care. Anyway, Striper. So
wait. I gotta call this out. Paul Pate fucking quoted my favorite movie, Say Anything, saying, I don't want to sell anything, buy anything, or process anything as a career. I don't want to sell anything bought or processed, or buy anything sold or process anything sold, bought. Thank you for quoting Lloyd Dobler, my freaking hero from the 1980s. If you don't like Say Anything, you're a freaking moron. Anyhow,
right.
Go ahead. Sorry,
so,
Kevin Cross.
I'll try to make my Striper story short. This takes place in the 1980s. I was very into Slayer and Venom and all these bands that were, part of the Satanic Panic.
Of course. Which, by the way, is back, but we'll have to talk about that at another time. But it's just bizarre to me that the Satanic Panic's come back, which is like, what the fuck? I thought that was gone.
Yeah, that's dumb. So, yeah, and then this is around the time I was getting really into, punk rock. It was a time before the 90s, so it wasn't pop stuff. It was very aggressive sounding and yada yada. And so my mom was trying to bond with me because previous to punk, my dad had chaperoned me to see. We went to 2 Iron Maiden shows together. We went to that's the Yellow and Black Attack right there. And then we went to what else did we see? We saw Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil together. Me and my dad.
Shouting out. Anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And so I think my mom. I was raised Presbyterian.
Mm-hmm.
Presbyterian. They have some Catholic type things. My parents were deacons at the church.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care. I just wanted to ride a skateboard and listen to this music and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think my mom was like, okay, well, let's bring him back into this or something. And so my mom says, this is after my dad chaperoning me. And sometimes it was just me and him. Sometimes it was me and a friend and him, whatever, to some metal shows. And he would never go to punk shows, oddly enough, until later in his life when he became my merch guy. But anyway. But that was decades later. Anyway, so my mom, she's like, "Hey, I got these tickets to this heavy metal show. I'd like to take you to." And
wait. And, I want to interject here because, like,
I mean, in the story who this is, but
yeah,
I should probably finish the story.
Yes, but
ahead,
no. Like, I'm just saying that, like, people like who are watching this who aren't familiar with Kevin, you guys have to check out Pitch Black. Check out Big Rig. Kevin is kind of legendary in punk rock. But anyhow, continue, Kevin. Sorry, I'm just trying to fluff you up there, buddy. But seriously, Pitch Black, dude, is fucking incredible. And like, seriously, I listened to that album before I ever met Kevin, and it was about a year into knowing Kevin that I was like, holy fuck, like, you mean Pitch Black? And anyhow, so yeah, you guys should check out Pitch Black. But go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
Great. Yeah, so I've been in a couple bands that were big in a small room.
Yeah.
I would say, not mainstream big or anything like that. But anyway, so my mom is like, she seems to be wanting to bond. She's got these tickets, and she takes me and my brother to this heavy metal show. And at that time, I was going to those shows in the 1980s. So Satanic Panic stuff. People would like these mega churches would bus in people to protest Ronnie James Dio and shit like that, right? And then we go to this show, and the buses that showed up had people with like coiffed hair with ties on, and old people and stuff. And I was like, how heavy is this metal gonna be? And then I thought this was, I was probably 14 or something at the time, and I thought this was funny already. There was these kind of goth looking people, very small crowd compared to the amount who would protest these Iron Maidens who came to America to steal the youth.
And by the way, you guys, just the Satanic Panic thing was like, let's set you back in the 80s where there were like propaganda videos about like how playing Dungeons and Dragons would open a portal to hell and make you sacrifice children. Like, this happened, you guys.
Those motherfuckers hated He-Man, and he's a hero.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Yeah. So, anyhow, go ahead.
So there's about like 4 or 5 of these kind of gothy metal looking people, and they're protesting with satanic pickets. This show that we're going into, and I thought it was so funny walking in. I'm 14, I'm young, and I thought it was funny. And we walk in, and it was a larger venue, but it was only half full. And I was like, what are we gonna see? I see a marquee, Striper. I didn't know who the fuck they were. I never heard of them or anything. And so there was a local band where I lived that was a thrash metal band. Mm-hmm. And they were not Christian. They were doing the 80s thing like Slayer, they were doing Satan lyrics, but they're not real Satanists. Nobody,
of course,
really, Nobody really was.
There's only maybe 2 Swedish death metal bands that are actual Satanists. I think there's
the only one I can think of is Merciful Fate, King Diamond. He claimed to be a real Satan worshiper, but turns out he's like Mr. Rogers in corpse paint.
Yeah, most of it's just cosplay.
It's just rebellion, But anyway, so I don't know who Striper is, but I know the opening band.
Sorry, Kevin. You're such a good storyteller. I'm just already. Anyhow, continue. Sorry, it's just
anyway. So the opening band, they're this thrash band, and they probably just got paid good for a gig, And I was like, well, this is rad. Why does my mom want to be here? This is thrash. This isn't regular metal. This is more like underground stuff. Why does my mom want to be here? And so my alarm bells are ringing. Why does my mom want to be here? Why are there old people here? Why are church buses here? Why are 4 or 5 people who dress like I do protesting this as a joke? Because they were obviously being funny. Anyway, so we get through the opening act, and they're good. I'd seen them before. And then here comes this hair metal band. At that point, I was getting into underground metal and punk rock, so I wasn't so into that shit. But here they come out with their.
You guys, wait, let's get a visual here. Okay. Yeah.
And that's what they look like. Here they come out with their yellow and black, and they're like, "Wow, are you ready to rock?" All that kind of stuff.
It's bees.
And then the first song is called "To Hell with the Devil," and then it was something like "Jesus Christ, my Savior," chugga 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 chugga, and a
lot of chug riffs.
Yeah. And so my mom bought us, I'd say collectively, me and my brother, because I was more punk and he was more into that hair metal stuff at the time. But she bought us their album at the time, and both of us T-shirts. And
Thomas remembers the Satanic Panic. He was like, I remember when Kiss was Knights in Satan's Service.
Yeah. I remember at one point, my parents made me go to church. The minister said that they had been promoted to kings in Satan's Service, and I was like, do you old people really understand? All they're singing about is sex. They're not singing about Satan.
Oh my gosh, Kevin! I feel like I was talking about this the other day because I was going off on a Republican who, maybe because I've been nice on streams recently, didn't realize like I will fucking own you if you're an asshole, and I don't give a shit. And like it was funny to me because I was just remembering the fact that like, and anyhow, I don't want to get too into it, but basically it was the fact that and I've already lost track because I've had a few.
Yeah, you're interrupting my Striper story.
That's what I do. I interrupt. You got to continue your Striper story. Here, let me put you back in the mood.
Okay. Anyway, I mean, the story kind of ends there, except for a couple little points. At one point, they threw out little New Testaments, these little red New Testaments,
Oh shit!
and on top of it, and somewhere in this room is a little tiny New Testament with Striper embossed in gold on the front of it. And I've managed to hold on to that for a long time. It was kind of a joke.
Well, you had it?
I do have it somewhere. I don't begrudge any of my friends for their religion or anything like that. I mean, even nowadays, I'm reticent to call myself an atheist. I just don't believe. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
That's reasonable.
But what that affords me as a non-believer is I can love the shit out of Slayer. And now that I'm old and I'm going backwards and being like, hey, that thing I thought was funny, kind of rad. At my shop, we listened to Striper the other day, and we're not. Neither one of us are Christians, and I was like, "Man, yeah, fuck yeah, to hell with the devil. This is fucking awesome."
Striper's coming back.
Striper, Kevin Cross endorsement. Now I might have to listen to some Striper.
So there's a bit.
They just sound like 80s. They just sound like 80s butt rock hair metal.
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
And they're good at it. They just happen to have a Christian bent. And as someone who's not religious and listen to a lot of satanic music, I don't care. I think hair metal's funny, and so they're just one of those bands,
Hair metal is amazingly hilarious.
They're funnier because they have so much stigma with them and shit like that. So it's
it's more, like the appeal of like a chick tract or something,
Well, and when we used to do Ape and shit like that, I have a stack of chick tracks. I love that stuff.
I've been like for years thinking about like perusing eBay and just trying to get like the full chick track collection.
Yeah, I have a stack about like that I think it's like maybe 20 or 30 or something like that.
They're incredible.
And I have one chick track that is a zine that someone did, not affiliated with Chick Track, about Cthulhu. That is fantastic. But,
nice. Anyway, you'll have to send that my way.
But anyway, Striper.
So Kevin, having this background with Striper, if you had seen like Corey's backdrop there, what would you have thought?
I would have thought that me and Corey are gonna make the devil go back to hell, man.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyhow, here's the hilarious part. Corey's, of course, never heard of Striper because he didn't have the weird fundamentalist like background you and I had. Yeah.
I just like yellow and black.
Yeah. Which, by the way, yellow and black is a great color palette. It's just when you add tights.
Hey,
Let's
Corey,
see this one more time.
If you have a sense of humor about music, I do recommend Striper's Yellow and Black Attack album.
Ooh,
it's like Motley Crue if Motley Crue played at church.
I like it.
A Christian church.
Those hardcore.
It's so goofy, and at this point, 50 whatever I am, it feels very. I can still stay punk rock by liking Striper because it's so uncool.
I love it. It's so hard to like. It's funny because like I feel like a few years ago you'd have to like really paint the picture for people where like there's this point in time where people would think like music was gonna like raise the devil from like the because I think we all had like I've even joked that like to my wife that like we should start telling Ben like, look, I'm gonna put this album here. but like don't fucking listen to it because like the devil will come out. Like, because there was something really, at least my childhood, there was something amazing. Like the first Slayer album I heard, I literally thought I was gonna go to hell just by listening to it. I was like, I'm gonna go to hell from listening to this, and there's a fucking thrill from that I feel like, should I replicate that for my son? I don't think you can reverse engineer it though.
So when my parents, they were deacons at the church, so I had to go to Sunday school before the service. Sunday was all taken over, and I had already realized it at this age. I just don't believe it and stuff because of questions I had, at Sunday school that I didn't get satisfactory answers. So I start not to fight the church or anything like that. It was just the time period.
Yeah.
And I was getting sick of mainstream metal. This is again before I got into punk rock and stuff. And at that time, that's when Slayer was brand new and Metallica was actually good and the brand new.
Back when Metallica actually thrashed.
And so, I was just eating it up, and that stuff actually led me to hardcore punk.
Same here.
But
it was like a gateway. It was a gateway.
Yeah. I remember being afraid to tell my parents I was a non-believer. They were so fundamentalist that they weren't. My parents thought the Satanic Panic was bullshit, except for Kiss for some reason, which is odd. And now my mom, one of her favorite bands is Kiss, and she always apologizes. And a little bit of a story here. Early internet time, there was a tickets.com was a Bay Area concert ticket thing.
I love it.
And Kiss was doing a reunion tour with makeup, and two of my best friends worked at this place, and so I got second row seats, and I took my mom just in case. But anyway,
nice.
So they would.
And you guys, that's when Kevin became possessed by the devil himself. Right. That's when the devil took his soul. Was at the Kiss concert. Which, by the way, we have another guest here who's been possessed by Kiss, which was Scott Cirkland, who was possessed by Gene Simmons, the demon himself. Just throwing that out there. Kevin, I don't know if you caught that episode. We did an Artcasters where Scott Cirkland was Gene Simmons. He embodied him for an entire episode.
We talked about Kiss a long time ago. I remember me and Scott.
Oh
yeah. Ace was my guy.
He does a good Gene. Like he did Gene for the whole episode and didn't drop character.
Oh shit! I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's fucking
I had the
amazing.
Makeup and everything. Yeah. The thing about Kiss is that it's the greatest rock band in the world.
Did you have a toy collection behind you?
No, I didn't have this set up.
I feel like the next time you should have I should be Terry Gross, and you can be Gene Simmons. That's the notorious Terry Gross and Gene Simmons. Look it up on YouTube. It's disturbing, and as much as I like Kiss, Gene Simmons didn't come across well.
Yeah, I'm not a Gene Simmons fan, but I'm a Kiss fan. So
yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking about this recently with my business partner. I was bemoaning how I think social media and the internet is destroying people.
Yeah,
and part of my example was I don't need to know Kiss's personalities. I wish I didn't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I had their records. I had the Mego toys.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what they're like.
I want the mystique.
I want the Kabuki theater with the demon and the cat and the spaceman.
They didn't need to lift the kimono. Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to know their politics. I don't give a. I just want a rock and roll party every day.
Yeah,
rock and roll night party every day. Ugh.
Reasonable.
Yeah,
Corey, you hanging in there?
So anyway, sorry. Should we talk about art?
I don't know. I'm enjoying this this hangout because like it honestly is a surreal day. It is not every day that you work for 9 years for somewhere and then you're done.
Well, yeah. When you sent me that text, that was quite a surprise.
Yeah,
So that's
it
what I'm
was a
worried about.
shock.
Yeah,
It gave me the vapors. You know, I feel like the one thing, Scott, I'm a little disappointed about this stream. I liked Southern Scott a lot. I liked Southern Detective Scott.
Oh yeah, you were in New Orleans. You had that.
Yeah. I just got back from New Orleans. No,
Scott.
well, not New Orleans. Just Louisiana, Cajun country. Bow Bridge, Louisiana is where we were, and then Lafayette we went to. So
Lafayette.
It was very cool. Yeah,
I did say there, Lafayette. Yeah. I don't know. There's something about
That's
that.
more like a foghorn leghorn.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It's a mix of everything.
Like, woo, how y'all on? You got to throw in some French in there, and
I gotta get in like the Gambit zone, and I just can't. Yeah,
we didn't see anyone that looked remotely like a Gambit. So
no. I feel like Kevin probably toured like Cajun country back in the day.
Well, no. What happened was Louisiana's not a big punk state, so
shocking.
Usually, it's more blues, jazz, 1940s R&B. I guess ostensibly early rock and roll if you're going to go there, which is fantastic. But it was always a night off between Georgia and Texas.
Yeah.
So actually, my ex-wife in New Orleans, as much as I love New Orleans, it did me dirty. But I've had great times in Louisiana.
Yeah,
nice.
Well, those drive-through daiquiri places.
I just can't believe this daiquiri thing. And then, like Holly, who was listening, like last time, was talking about how they have like this technicality where it's like you kind of technically can't sell liquor to somebody who's driving, so they make you stop for like 2 seconds. And then as long as you stop for 2 seconds, it's like, okay, you stop to drink it, so you're good to go. And I'm like, that's insane. That's kind of awesome, though.
So I was asking the person we were staying with, and she's a Louisiana state trooper, and I couldn't even get a square answer from her out of what the law was when it pertains to that.
Well, she couldn't talk to you because her mouth was full of daiquiri. It's fucking.
That's like, I don't know. I gotta figure this out. Give me another daiquiri. You guys, I'm gonna be right back again, but as long as you guys are down to hang out, I don't mind hanging for a little bit longer.
I'm good.
I want to throw Philip Chandler's badass. What do you think, Kevin? What do you think of this caricature here? Well, I
love that because it's so simple and so sketchy, and right away you could tell.
It's got the crazy eyes. It's got the freaking out of control hair.
Who was the guy? Oh God, his name's on the tip of my tongue. He was super famous caricaturist in the.
Oh, Hirschfeld. You're thinking Hirschfeld.
Yeah.
I kind of. Yeah.
If the line art was cleaner and the eyes were more buggy, it could be Hirschfeld.
Yeah, I thought about that too when I looked at that. Yeah. There's
a here in Portland. There's this bar that is kind of a seedy dive bar, but I guess in the 40s, it was like a supper club. and Hirschfeld came here and did a bunch of like Bogart and Lana Turner and all the stars of the day on this one wall, and now they have this plexiglass over it, but it is like one of the crappiest dive bars in town, and just you walk in and people like us would be like, oh my God, the history here, but it's just a bunch of hee-haws hanging out, just a bunch of Portland rednecks, and he did a whole wall. It's huge, it's a good 8 foot tall wall, probably I don't know, 12 or so feet across.
Yeah.
It's big, and he just did it, sometime he's passing through, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's really cool, but yeah, it's Just a bunch of rednecks hanging out.
Oh, Kevin, I almost don't want to like recount like the my friend Kevin, as he talked about, like he showed the key and all that stuff. He comes to visit Lancaster, you know, like to kind of hang here because like he needed a place to stay. He talked about that, and there's like fires everywhere. It's like the first freaking week that we're there, and there's
really,
like fire. Yeah,
I really screwed it up with those girls that night. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to talk about that one. But there's fires everywhere, and so it shuts down the 14, which is like my ride home from where I no longer am employed. Which I am just saying that's actually kind of liberating. But
I don't think we spend enough time on the fact that you just got 3 hours of every day back.
Yeah, I know. That's very exciting. Like the lack of commute and also the fact that you guys who are like subscribed to this channel have no idea how much I'm going to be live streaming just for fun whilst working on shit.
I did that commute with Josh for about a year, so I know.
Yeah, it's a beast. Anyhow, so like we're stuck. Like, okay, the 14 gets shut down because like there's fires everywhere. And we have to stop at this bar. Kevin and I decided to stop at a bar because
there's nowhere else to go.
There's nowhere to go. Like we're at a dead stop. We're like an hour and a half in, and we look over and we're like, you know what? Let's stop over here. So we go to this bar, stop over there, and what ends up happening is the first person we're like sitting next to at the bar, we order a drink because we're stuck for like hours.
And there's those two hot chicks, and I got one to get.
No, wrong story.
I thought it was that one where.
So then, like, this guy is like, Kevin and I are talking, and there's this like older guy who's sitting next to us, who's just kind of eavesdropping, and he goes, you know, it's interesting. You say you lived in Lancaster. I used to live in Lancaster, and he's like, yeah, back in the day, you used to be able to hang your Klan posters everywhere. And Kevin and I both are like, what the hell? And I'm like, Kevin, this is not all of Lancaster.
No,
this is not like the experience. And it's literally like first week there. And I felt so bad for Kevin because I was like, welcome to red, weird ass country. Like it's not always like this, but that's pretty bad. And like,
I mean, you know, granted, I'm from the Bay Area and whatever, but I did live in Texas, so it's not.
It's true.
Too foreign to me.
This is why Kevin and I are friends. I used to live in Texas. Kevin used to live in Texas, right?
That was the same night with those two hot chicks, and I remember.
I do remember that.
I remember we got rid of that hee-haw guy, and sorry, I just heard somebody today call rednecks hee-haws, and I think it's so fucking funny. So anyway, get rid of that guy, and what I don't remember is how, I mean, I'm like separating from my wife. I'm heartbroken. So every hot girl that will talk to me, I'm like, yes, I need that back.
And meanwhile, I'm sympathetic friend who's wingmanning, you know, my buddy. So I'm just like, this guy has a YouTube channel. It's got like a million, you know, I'm talking him up. Yeah.
Well, what did help is so somehow I remember joking around, and one of those gals ended up buying me whiskey.
Yeah, I remember. And you got her to buy you drinks. It was insane. Yeah. The skill.
And then
the skill of the cross.
Yeah, it's all underneath the beard. I'm very handsome. But
like you guys have to come to the cross, you know? Like
so and then a guy that she was with, not with, because he was not into girls, but he was a fan of the band Nerve Agents that I was in.
Yeah, that's right. So
then all of a sudden, I was like, I had carte blanche. But the thing that sucked, what I messed up is at the end of the day, I asked the wrong girl for her number, and her friend liked me. That's my story.
Well, I wasn't going into that one, but I thought it was strange.
That was the
yeah,
same
yeah.
one.
No, and within like 2 weeks, Kevin and I both had experiences where weirdly at bars, like straight up Nazis just like were like, "Hey, I'm a Nazi," and we were like, and I kept having to go, Kevin, this is not the area I live in. I swear it's not the area I live in. Because I felt so bad, like that you just like come from like Portland to like my neck of the woods, where like like I've never experienced that, but it happened twice in like 2 weeks.
I mean,
anyhow,
Portland's a political mess in a different way. So
yeah. They're a mess on like different ends of the spectrum.
I'm trying not to be political, but I guess let's just say I love people and I'm a free thinker, and both ends of the aisle right now are bullshit. But anyway,
I get that.
So Josh and I would occasionally go to this. Is it a brewery?
I played there, Kevin, with my punk band, and we played like anti-Trump songs at the shack.
So, I mean, going to politics. So I'm in a band again. And
nice.
It's an old sounding punk band. We decided not to be political at all, and all of our songs are about the Old West right now.
Ooh, so I kind of like that.
But anyway, so that brewery we used to go to, there was that kind of punk chick that I had kind of a crush on.
Yeah, I remember.
And then she ended up being at that racist bar we went to, and I was so bummed out. Yeah, that was what fun.
Well, you were at that racist bar too, so maybe she was.
I didn't know we were at a racist bar. They all did.
Maybe she. Oh, she did. Okay.
Yeah,
so she knew.
Yeah, she definitely knew all the people. And so there was a guy who was talking about the Black Pope. Not.
Oh like, yeah. And like Kevin and I were like, wait, what's the Black Pope? So we're like looking it up on our phone, and it's like, oh, it's this like weird fucking Nazi, like crazy fucking anti-Jewish thing. Like it was insane. Anyhow, sorry.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, and that's what, and that's when we thought,
people watching live, are you not entertained? Anyhow, sorry.
Yeah, and that's and at that moment, Josh and I turned to each other and we said, "Are we with racists?"
We kind of did, and like we actually turned to like the bartender and we're like, "Are you hearing what they're saying?" And the bartender like kind of looks at. Well, the bartender looks at us and goes, "You don't understand. Like it's all like we all agree." And Kevin and I both like look around like, wait, all agree? And we bolt instantly.
Well,
and then flip off the place on our way. Yeah.
We didn't bolt. We
didn't bolt. We
because
kindly exited.
You're being you're making us sound like pussies, Josh. Well, we did. Start this massive fight.
That's kind of true. But we did actually cuss them out on our way out.
We didn't cuss. I don't remember us cussing. I remember us staying there and debating them.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. We did.
We didn't leave right away.
Yeah, it took a while. Thank you for reminding me.
Dude, I spent $3.50 on a Pabst Blue Ribbon. I was not going to leave right away without a good debate.
I had forgotten that. We did debate, and
we did. Yeah, we did not, man.
I always forget. I always forget that like this is where like people, if I'm like online making a statement and they're like politically kind of backing off, or like they're trying to like be like, oh dude, like go broke or something to me, it's like I'm not going to back down. Like I am a weird guy who like a literal neo-Nazi at a bar confronts me and I'm like, oh, let's debate. Like, let's do this. Yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you, Kevin, for reminding me.
No, we stayed. The only time we left is we kind of got bored.
Yeah, I think so. And then we kind of flipped them off and then yelled, "You're all Nazis" on our way out.
Yeah, I mean, in my memory, I think
Scott, Corey, I'm sorry. This is a little bit of drinking entertainment, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
unfortunately,
memory,
my drink is gone. So, but
Oh, well, you
Yeah.
got a refill.
depends
Kevin,
how long
you
we're gonna
introduced
go.
me to Fernet Branca, and that is the secret pass. When I was in Canada going to TCAF, my publisher took me out to a bar. I ordered Fernet Branca, and the bartender was suddenly like our guy, like for the
Yeah.
rest of the night.
it's the bartender's drink.
It is like the secret password to
Yeah.
bartenders.
Yeah, because it's not for everyone, and it wasn't even for me when I found it.
Yeah.
Not like I'm a fancy lad. I mean, look at me. I look like a hee-haw tonight. But it's a drink of distinction.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you go places and you'll get free drinks because you know it, even though it's more expensive than other drinks. You know, it's just, I don't know. Growing up not like I was drinking when I was a kid, but when I started playing shows and doing all that stuff and hanging out at bars, playing these shows, it was where I got turned on to that. And in San Francisco, a little trivia about Fernet. The place that sells it's Italian. The place that sells most in the world is the whole country of Argentina.
Truth.
And the municipality of San Francisco. So me being in my 20s, 30s, and all that stuff in playing shows at bars in San Francisco, you become friends with bartenders. They let you stay after the bar closes. They're like, hey, try this thing. And I was like, oh my God, it tastes like oil and mint. And then all of a sudden you just kind of, it's so weird. You start liking it. And then you take it to another bar and you ask for it. And then the bartender goes, oh, would you like to come spend the night with me or have a free one? You know, it's I don't know.
Dude, it's insane. It's insane.
There's a weird like kind of culture around it.
Yeah.
For some reason.
And I kind of get it because like ever since then, like because I like Fernet, it's like I'll order that at bars and instantly bartenders interested in serving you very well. And it's kind of crazy. Like I've had bartenders like pull out like challenge coins that are like Fernet Branca challenge coins. They're like, I love Fernet. I'm like, holy shit. Like Kevin gave me the secret password. We just gave it to you.
And I'll tell you, it's considered this like you're a gentleman or a lady, worldly if you drink it. I found out about it through playing hardcore punk rock.
I love that.
But I mean, we're all human, and we all want to be cool. And
I love it.
Fernet's cool.
I just recently saw like a I feel bad. Are we keeping you guys too late, Corey?
No.
Okay.
I'm good, dude. I'm an adult. I'll jump in or out when I want.
Okay. Okay. I feel like
talk about art.
We could talk about art. Let's talk about art.
Yeah.
Well,
Josh,
it's Josh's choice tonight. So whatever.
Right now I'm drinking a Michelada, which I turned around to like a couple months ago. I was like, I kind of like Micheladas.
I think this might be the art of life casters.
Yeah. The art of life casters. No, like on an art front, I feel excited, frightened, and all sorts of like the possibilities are kind of endless. And Scott, I think I had mentioned this before. I don't know if I ever concluded this thought, but it's like I think that's one of the unique things. Like you were in this position about a year ago, maybe 2 now.
Well,
it all blurs together like years.
It's been longer than that.
Longer than that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's just me being old and years feeling like,
But the thing that's different, I think, because I assume you weren't expecting when you went in today that that you were going to be handing in your resignation.
I had suspicions.
Okay. Because what I was going to say was pretty much the last 3 or 4 jobs that I had, every day I went in thinking it was going to be my last day.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but that was my okay, this is the day they let me go. It was like, and some of it was because I could kind of see the writing on the wall and certain things, like where the company was headed and things. But and then even the companies that didn't seem like that, I just got in that mindset that, okay, yeah, this. So it wasn't. I mean, the first, because I've been laid off so many times, the first couple times it was like, whoa, like especially the first time, it was just like, I was like, I might have teared up a little bit, to be honest. But and then after a while, it was just like,
you're just like, okay, let's go.
Like, yeah. So yeah, I've been through this before. So
did
we lose Kevin, or is he just taking a?
Oh no, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah. We have Kevin in the darkness because he just got too many Kiss concerts and the devil took his soul, No,
I've never done one of these streams. I think the last time I streamed was when I guess I kind of canceled myself with the hundreds, and so I was looking around. I was like, can I look at this other app while I do this? That's all.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I was paying attention. You guys aren't boring at all.
5 minutes later, Kevin's like,
hey guys, have you ever played this game? It's called Tetris. It's fantastic.
I'm
go somewhere with that.
That's Josh? What I have to be careful of is like, I cannot play Risk tomorrow. I need to work. I need to get shit done.
Yeah, you do.
I cannot play Risk because if I play Risk, I will just play Risk all day.
Yeah,
and then I'll be like that. Can
you become a Risk hustler? Because I know like there's a big thing of like chess hustlers and stuff on YouTube. Like there's the girl who like no one thinks she's a chess player and she goes in and plays all these people and.
Hey, that's stuff. Not a bad idea. I could just be like, hey guys, maybe we play a game at Risk. I really suck at this game. I'm awful at it. Yeah, I don't know. But maybe you want to play Risk and maybe we put some money on it. I don't know. Maybe that's my future.
The weirdest rabbit hole on YouTube recently. There's a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And she is also like a national foosball champion.
A foosball?
So she hustles people in Vegas. She just walks around and pretends to be like a ditz.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey guys, I'm doing like a YouTube show where I just tried things I've never done before. And like she just hustles these. It's like so funny.
That's right.
I love it. That's that kind of, I don't know, to me, that reminds me of I have a friend, friend Jeremy, actually, his brother. I'm not going to get into like last names or anything, but you know the Jeremy.
He just texted me today. I haven't talked to him for years, and he just texted me today.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead.
Did he sext you or text you, Kevin?
He just texted. We kept it above board.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that. But anyhow, so his brother was like a professional pool player, and he would totally do the pool hustle, like where he'd go into like a dart and pool place, and he'd just be like, I don't know what I'm doing. He'd lose like 2 games and be like, how about we put like some money on it? And then the second they put money down, it's like he opens like his little special like pool friggin' thing and like screws together his custom pool cue, and it's like, oh, I guess we're playing now. And you're like, what? Anyhow, but I saw him do it a couple times, and I was like, that's insane that somebody can make a living doing that. Brother of Jeremy.
All right, so Josh, let's talk about your situation here.
All right, let's talk about the situation with the individuals here. Yes.
Yeah. So I have a lot of questions that I will not ask you on the internet.
Okay.
But no Risk tomorrow for you. I'm just ordering you now. Because this is a big chapter break, right?
Yeah.
It's the end of an old one, new beginning.
Yeah.
These are difficult. You were there for one of my most difficult.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do tomorrow?
So my first plan is to write a list based on budget and what I need to meet. And the second plan is to update my resume and my website just to make sure that's all up to speed. Send out some job applications and then live stream while doing art. And but before that, I want to actually plan out and map out some potential t-shirt designs and prints that I can then work on like live, and then still make time for my comics because I'm on a deadline.
Well, and
And
that's
kind
a
of
paying
treat
gig
like
too,
my work hours as like just create illustration time.
Yeah. And the comic is a...
Ooh,
we lost him.
We lost
Let's
Kevin.
pop-
We lost Kevin.
He pops back on.
Will Kevin return? Find
That
out.
sounds like that's pretty. I think that's pretty much what I did when I got laid off. The first thing I did was look at my budget, look at my finances, and okay, this is where I need to be. This is where I can cut back.
Yeah, and I'm inspired by you on it.
Subscriptions and things that you don't need or whatever, and then
Yeah, and I think like the biggest thing to me is like I have like some leads and stuff too, some clients that I need to like reach out to that I've actually turned down work from. So
yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, Scott, you look like you're dying.
No, I'm still kind of recouping from my, what was it?
Time difference too, right? Like, was it, a significant time difference?
Well, yeah, and it's weird because I think we've decided that if we go back or when we go back, we might just drive because we had 2 plane flights plus a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
And, because we flew, we had to drive, we drove into Texas. We flew out of Houston, which that airport there is, I think there's a couple. The one we went to, I mean, it was, it's not a good airport. We flew into Dallas, and then we flew from Dallas back to Phoenix, so it was there's so much. The whole day was just, even though we were flying, it was like, it's just like the whole day is shot. I think it'd make more sense to just drive, stay somewhere like halfway, and then drive again, because it's like we were driving anywhere. But anyway,
I love it. That's crazy. So that would make sense why you'd be pretty exhausted, because that's kind of a crazy trip and a lot of flying and driving.
Yeah.
Well, I feel bad. I feel like we've gone like an hour and 51 minutes, as much as I'd like Kevin to come back. I feel like this was fun. Is there anything that we didn't touch on? I think I have.
I don't think our intention was to touch on anything. It wasn't really.
Yeah, I think my goal was just to kind of talk about like some changes and stuff. I think like for me, recapping it, it's like I don't feel crushed or purposeless or anything like that in this scenario. I actually, this is a beauty of working in illustration for a long time, where you build some resilience, kind of like Scott was describing. It's like, where he's like, okay, like you work somewhere in 3 years, first time to like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And then like, a couple times later, you're just like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is going to happen. I don't feel like it's hopeless, so I'm optimistic about the possibilities. To me, the biggest challenge, and this is where I was kind of saying, Scott, like you've probably experienced this too, is the blue sky problem, where I need to like tomorrow kind of reassess and like figure out specifics of like where my map is going to go. Because like for me, that's going to be the thing, is like kind of figuring out a specific map. But, again, like just from life experience, I feel like when you do that with intention, like things happen. Whereas if you kind of end up like blue sky and you just kind of like scattershot everywhere, you don't make a lot of progress. So that's kind of like
the one thing I was getting ready to say before Kevin hopped on was that in transformational leadership we talk about be, do, have. So it's about your way of being. Like, are you being scarce? Are you being abundant? Are you where are you kind of coming from? How are you being? And then unlike the secret, it's just kind of like you put it out there, and there's a middle step, and that's the do. So you have to actually do things to get there, but you want to treat it like you already have it. That's the being.
Yeah.
And then you will have it, after,
with like confidence. Cause like
right.
if you go forward assuming failure, you will get what you're assuming.
Right.
Like I firmly convinced of that. So,
and it's not always easy. I mean, I try to come from abundance as much as I can, but like lately I've been feeling a little scarce just because, I mean, I'm get to kind of the point where, okay, I've got to get something coming in here. So, well, Kevin's back on. I'm going to pop him in. We could probably wrap up because I think Kevin wanted to talk to you about some stuff off air. So I don't know if we want to wrap up and then we can talk with Kevin a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I will say I'll wrap up off air, but I'm probably drinking a little bit longer tonight. But again, not promoting drinking to anyone out there, but like job's done, so it's kind of a celebration in a weird way. Do we want to wrap it officially at this point?
Yeah, let's wrap it, and then we can hang out afterwards a bit.
Okay.
So,
which rap song are you gonna start with, Scott?
Sure. Come on, guys. Let's sing to Josh. Happy Trap.
No. No. We're good. Okay, Scott. Where can everybody? Oh wait, Scott ends it.
Yeah.
Corey, where can everybody find your work?
At myname.com. Go to CoreyKerr.com. Go buy something. Go watch something. Go read something. Yeah.
Like I'm right now drinking Michelada. If I wanted to drink that from a really stylish mug, I would get it from Corey Kerr's website because he has mugs.
There are several of those in different sizes. So
that's right. All right. Kevin Cross. Everybody can find at kevincross.com. Where else?
It's actually kevincross.net, but it has not been updated for 7 or 8 years. So, and I haven't cared much about it since I have a brick and mortar place now. But where can you find me? I guess probably the best might be YouTube because I'm
damn right.
Gonna do a bunch of stuff. I was going to ask you guys what your thoughts on an idea I had about rebooting.
Did you want to do that after,
or after I mean, I can do a public, or just I value your guys' opinions, and I can't see a chat, so I'm not relying on what anybody else is saying.
Let's do it. Let's do it public if you're cool with it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this goes back to the 100 Days Making Comics, and a little bit before when I was talking about I did it, and then I kind of got stuck in a loop of feeling like I had to keep doing it because there became this community that grew around it, and it actually is part of the killer of my comic. Not the only one. I mean, I'm responsible as well, But my idea, so I can start doing videos. I want to think them more as making shorts and stuff, like the last handful of videos that I did before I left YouTube again.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is kind of a project based.
That's what I'm going into, and the main reason for that is especially with all the AI, people want to see people making stuff.
Yeah, and I'll tell you. So, what I do, I'm not going to say it because there have been some trolls who have kind of been stalkers in the past and stuff. I'm not doing I'm doing more of a graphic design based job that has a handcrafted result. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm making, I work at a place that makes wood signs all by hand. We paint, and do woodwork and stuff like that. And so AI can't do that. So I feel safe there, but but people do want things immediate. So AI is still a problem in a way, you know.
Yeah.
I have friends who write for TV in Hollywood, and they have a different perspective on AI. And now I'm realizing I'm going on a tangent. And they seem to think that as us creatives, we can do our preliminary work with AI. Anyway, that's a tangent. That's probably a whole nother conversation. But so what my idea with rebooting YouTube is that there was only a couple months where I made enough money to really feel like I was making a significant dent in my income as far as like being able to pay bills and things like that. But it was never my whole monthly nut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and now I'm older. I've got other things going on. It's more of a hobby. So I don't have to, like, I don't care as much. You know what I mean? So, but I do know that YouTube has helped me. Not only I met a shit ton of people, you know, a couple of you guys included here, you know, I've hung out with Scott in person. I think Corey, we need to hang out. I hung out with these guys in person. Yeah. So anyway,
I think we need like a Yellowstone trip or something. Cause
we keep talking about it. I've got enough kayaks for everybody. Let's do it. Let's hang out with some moose.
You're in Utah,
woods.
Is that right?
I'm in Idaho, just north of Utah. Yeah.
Oh, you're closer to me than I thought. Okay.
Probably only by an hour or two, because I'm still on the southeast side of Idaho.
Okay. I mean, I'm in Portland. You're still right over there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why I thought Utah, but anyway. So going on tangents. So I'm thinking now, what YouTube helped me do is it helped me at a certain point. I have friends from it.
Yeah.
You know, in person now, IRL, and we became accountability partners in doing certain art projects, and so it helped me stick to a schedule of doing a project, and rather than just making it a broad art channel. I mean, we've got Jazza, we've got all these people who are doing like, I'm gonna go to Michael's and buy this bullshit craft kit, make something cool, you know. So I'm thinking I like making films, you know, and having some accountability. So when I'm thinking, so I have a project right now that I'm working on, and so I'm thinking about having my YouTube channel, and it's not a comic book. So I'm thinking about, I'll do this project, then if my next project is a comic book, then my YouTube channel becomes about that comic book.
I love it.
Maybe I do this other, you know, so I'm thinking, and I can tell you guys more off air, because I also know that another detriment of my comic book failing was I shared too much. And I do believe it. I've come to believe because of that if you talk about it too much, you psychologically feel like you've done it. You know,
that's actually a really good point.
So even to really close friends, like, you know, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
But I'll share more with you guys off air about it. But
cool.
It's animated. I started art school as an animation major, and I'm going back to it. So
I like it.
So I now shared that part of it with you and texting with Jim Lujan. So you guys know.
I love it. And Lujan, man, Lujan is like the glue that sticks us all together. You know,
I haven't done animation.
I'd call it the Gluhan. The Gluhan.
That's so bad. I love it.
That's right, Jim. If you're watching this after the fact, because Jim Gluhan, like a sane man, is probably sleeping right now.
Who did that? That's great.
But I bet you Gluhan's watching this in the morning.
Yeah.
So
don't tell me he's got the Foley. Keep it a mystery for me.
Excuse me, hang on a second. Oh my gosh.
So Scott,
pardon me.
You're thinking more Project 2.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's basically the idea of my channel, is that I'm reverse engineering like novelties and nostalgia from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And
so good.
Like
I love
like
the wax
packs.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
doing,
Wait.
Well, I'll show them again.
Show that real close. Okay, when we close out, but you better show that close because those look authentic, legit, gross food wax packs.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, we're very close in age, so of course, when I saw you did that, I was very excited.
Yeah, and I've got a list of like 100 different things. Seriously,
that's fucking fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
Well, and not just that,
you're thinking project.
Yeah.
Project to project will be the basis of your YouTube content.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
I think that might be, maybe we're geniuses because because at this point I just think that there's so many there's tons of great art channels, so I'm not trying to bemoan anybody, but there was a point where I had some tutorial stuff and I realized, why do I do a tutorial? Because that seemed to be so prevalent. What can I do differently? My voice is different, my editing might be different, but how do I compete with 50 other channels who might do the same video I just did about inking with a brush, So, and now like Jazza, and I'm not talking shit, I'm just saying, using him as an example because his channel's so huge, right?
Right.
But he hits the art world with such a broad stroke, and he's got such a viewership that he can just kind of mess around with like, I'm going to make a fine art painting with cotton balls, which would be a really fun, freeing place to be. But what else is freeing if we're not going to, have a multi-million subscriber YouTube channel is focus on your channel and maybe get investment there.
I like it.
This is something that I absolutely hate about social media and all the algorithm garbage and everything, is it drives us towards gimmick. Like it drives us towards the stupid, vapid, sensational, gimmicky crap. And so every time I hear about somebody like moving in towards something substantive, it's like there's so little of that because it's like, I'm gonna poke myself in the eye while I draw with my foot, and it's like, it's like where AI is right now. Like it's crap, and it's people are interested because it's a gimmick. Yeah, and it'll become something else later. But right now it's like, I want to watch this spectacle.
It's like, I'm really good at typing prompts. I feel like the one thing I can offer on my channel is authenticity. And it's like, even when I'm like, if I'm just going to do like a live take or something on something, I'm going to be pretty off the cuff, especially now that I'm not a representative of where I work. I will be way off the cuff with my own takes and stuff on YouTube. The other thing I'm excited about is like actually showing the process of illustration, because comics, all of that, I love it. Illustration's my bag. Like, that is my thing. And to be able to like do illustrations live on live streams and stuff, I think will be really fun. Whether that'll lead to like YouTube anything, I don't know. But but that's half of my thing is just pure authenticity, and then like the idea that I'm actually free to be a little more authentic is kind of exciting to me. Because even like I said, like I went off on some right wingers a couple streams ago, and it's the best I've felt on live streaming in years because I enjoy attacking idiots. Like I get a kick out of it, and like I enjoy being authentic, you know. And I'm drinking, so yeah. But
let me
on live stream.
Ask you guys this also.
Are you not entertained, you guys? If you haven't yet, hit the like button, you idiots. That's right. Okay, go ahead, Kevin. You were going to ask us something.
Have you guys seen my OnlyFans channel?
That was recommended earlier, and I was joking. Like, I think it was Paul who was saying, "Hey, you can always do OnlyFans," and I'm like, if I did OnlyFans, the site would be done. Like that would be the end of OnlyFans. Like it would be that would be like everybody goes to OnlyFans and then they're like, oh shit, what did I get into? I'm done.
So but back to serious. I think so I'm really stoked to hear you say that, Scott, about doing a project-based thing. Excuse me.
Scott's new videos are incredible.
I think there is a way. Like, I'm pretty proud of how I edited those last videos like a year ago. I think there is a way to still bring that level of that entertained me. So that's how I would like to. Hey, this seems like, hey, it's not just a, this is a painting video. This is a pen and ink video. This is, I think there is a way to build on a project while making it entertaining.
Yep.
Because we are not at that point in YouTube where you can just point a thing and just, hey, how's it going, everybody? Sometimes, So, so here's my second idea. Not original to me, but what I'm thinking about doing is every other video is on YouTube, and every other video is on Patreon.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
So
or you could film a long video, chop it up, put part of it on YouTube, and then the full version on Patreon. That's another one. But
I mean, either way, like I thought there's a couple ways to do it, which would be the shorter truncated version. It's on YouTube. Your video with more takeaways and things like that is on Patreon.
The good thing about Patreon, Kevin, is you don't have to play, because on YouTube, like we were talking about, you have to play a little bit to what people are gonna, kind of the algorithm and stuff like that. What's going to get you views versus Patreon, they're there for you, and you can go a little more in depth than you can, or however you want to do it. And those people, they want to be there. It's not just like you're not trying to capture those passersby and convert them.
So you can take a little bit more time to build stories, I think, that aren't like, just sensationalist stuff or whatever, do you guys probably know about Casey Neistat, right? His brother Van Neistat has a way better channel. Way better.
Really? Okay.
Way better. Yeah. Van Neistat, his channel is gold. And this is where I get this. He starts every video where he says, this week's video is here on YouTube. He's standing in front of a chalkboard and he's got like little drawings of the logos. And next week's video is on Patreon. I don't subscribe to him on Patreon, which I should. His videos have so much more takeaway. He like makes stuff. He's way more inspiring. He doesn't make me want to punch him. His channel is so much better.
Yeah.
So that's where my idea comes from.
I love it.
Yeah. And his YouTube videos are fantastic. So I imagine his Patreon is even better. But yeah, he's a maker, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta check it out then, because
you know, Casey Van Neistat is too, but he's also, I don't know, I don't get. Fuck your electric skateboard. I ride a real one.
Yeah.
I don't know. He inspired me at first. Now I just God, I hate him. But his brother's gold.
Okay.
That's awesome. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So I'm going on a tangent. Sorry, but
yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool. I think we should wrap. Okay, so I think we mentioned Corey, where people could find obviously me, like Kevin. Check out kevincross.net and also Kevin Cross on YouTube.
Yeah, probably just YouTube for now.
Mainly, yeah, YouTube.
I'm going to redo my site because I'm not, because I haven't done it for close to a decade. But
I get that. Like, I have to revisit my website too, and it's probably like 9 years since like the last time.
And I'm actually going to make my my website less about getting illustration clients and just more of a hub for things I make. You know,
I like that.
I recently redid mine, and I took the portfolio out. I took the only thing, and I arranged it so the first thing you see as far as the links to other pages is the store, then digital downloads, which is the second store, and then there's just a bio, contact, and
nice,
and then another page called community, which just takes you to like a link to my Patreon.
Nice.
So that's it. Yeah.
I like it.
And just and took out all the fluff and all that other stuff that, and there's, there's links to my newsletter and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's.
And if you guys haven't checked out, obviously Scott's stuff, like, even the way the lab coat is incorporated is so freaking cool on this one. I'm just saying, like, check out Scott's new stuff. If you guys haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications when you're about to go live. There is some crazy shit about to happen on my channel. Probably a lot of long live streams. Probably a little more contentious and weird because I am free, which is exciting. And so make sure you're hitting that bell so you get notifications when we're about to go live. Kevin, thank you for hopping on too. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, anytime, dude. And honestly, I'm gonna be on YouTube like a maniac, like the next.
Don't let
months.
It consume you, dude.
Yeah.
He works. He's good at working while he's on YouTube.
I kind of am, but the devil might consume me, and that's why you should subscribe and hit that bell so you get notifications, because you can watch the devil consume me. Anyhow,
Josh's spiral.
That's true. Yeah, you can watch my slow spiral into insanity. How can that not be interesting? And then Corey, you've already mentioned it, right? Where people can find you in mugs. So that leaves us with one gentleman left, which is the Circland of Scott. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, so you can find, like I said, I got a new website up. You can find it at circworks.com, all my digital products for making comics, all that stuff. And in my store right now, limited quantities of these wax packs, gross food wax packs. And then on my YouTube channel, if you want to see how I make these and how you can make your own, definitely check out my YouTube videos. Next week, I alternate. I do a video, like an edited video, and then the following week I do a live stream. So next week I'm going to actually be putting together kind of a little more in depth and answering questions about how to make these things, and I'll be making a bunch of wax packs live.
Do you tell us how to make the gum?
Yep.
That goes inside there.
Yeah,
It does. Yeah.
I do.
It's a good hack too.
You got to watch
I
the
wouldn't
video.
have even thought of that one, Scott.
Watch the latest 2 videos and tell me what you think, because I'm really like I said, I mean, I was watching what you were doing, and I think the editing that you were doing, however long ago was that you did those, year or 2 or whatever, I think that's what a lot of people are doing now. I think you were totally ahead of your time, and I think that stuff will do really well. Like at least I hope it will, because that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
So yeah, I think it's concentrate on the storytelling.
That's it, the story.
Yeah.
And hook people in the beginning with the story, and I'm going to even tweak things around. I'm going to constantly be tweaking. I talked to Corey about some ideas that change the little things around, but just see what's kind of working and tweak it, but stay true to what I want to do, and that's just diving into this nostalgia from when I was a kid and stuff, and the stuff I used to love, and cater to that audience, that age group. And, you know, there's going to be some younger people and maybe even older or whatever that will like it as well. But just cater to that. And you know, and I'm confident that eventually it's going to start paying off. So,
yeah, I think it's on. Yeah, I think you're doing a good thing. You're on the right track, I think.
I agree. Scott, like, I am weirded out, right? Like, I thought that it was going to be Corey tonight, and then it's me, and then who knows? It's like, I thought it was going to be on Corey's channel. It's on my channel. It's on everybody's channel. Who knows? It'll be on Kevin Cross's channel. Who freaking knows? Right?
Tomorrow.
It used to be.
Honestly, this Artcasters thing, it's out of control. How do we control it, Scott? Explain to people.
So before I do that, I want to mention that coming up, and this plays into what we're talking about as far as being on different channels and different times. We a couple weeks ago, we experimented. We did an Artcasters on a Sunday, and we're going to be playing around with some different times. So you definitely want, and some of those will be on Sundays, which will allow us to get some guests that we couldn't get because it's late hours and everything. And so the best thing to do is join our mailing list, because if you join the mailing list, we usually and I don't think I did it the past 2 things just because of the vacation and everything. But typically about 30 minutes before we go live, we send out a newsletter with a link. It'll tell you who the guest's going to be, what the topic's going to be, and you'll know what day it's going to be on, whose channel, all that kind of stuff. So just click on the link in the description of this video for the Artcasters mailing list, join that, and you will be notified when we're about to go live, because I said, it's going to be on some different times coming up, at least for a little bit. So I don't know if that'll be next time or a couple weeks, but join that mailing list.
That's right, because we might be switching to Sundays. And actually, now that I have a freer schedule, who knows? It might be 6 a.m. Subscribe to that thing. You're going to get your notifications when we're about to go. And then again, if you haven't yet, hit that bell, and we will see you guys on the next art stream. Are you not entertained? Okay, have a good night, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Appreciate it. Very much. Let me just bend down to pick up my speech. Oh, excuse me.